Start
Oh my God, we're back again. Um,
the week.
so uh, so no, this week has been kind of underwhelming for us as wrestling fans, and yeah, we're expecting a lot from No Mercy this last Sunday, and we're expecting we're expecting like at least to be at this to be as good as Backlash. Didn't live up to that, unfortunately.
Unfortunately,
Very, very underwhelming in our opinions.
I won't say very, but it was underwhelming though.
It was it. Where do I begin here? Well,
Pre-show,
we didn't even watch the pre-show, but apparently it was Hype Bros and American Alpha defeating Ascension and Bought Villains. That was kind of what it was. I didn't see it, so I can't really comment that much about it. Um, so before the show, I saw on Twitter that they announced that they were going to have the WWE World Title match between Cena, Styles, and Ambrose kick off the show.
only because of the debate occurring later that night. I was like,
But I mean, okay, fine. If you want to say, oh, the second presidential debate was on the same night, that's fine. But that does not make up entirely as an excuse, because either way, people are going to tune in for the presidential debate rather than No Mercy.
plus, it would have been better if they just put it in the middle of the card instead of the very beginning.
I mean, to kick it off, and not only that, what really, people say WWE insults, people's intelligence, and this is one of those instances where this argument is valid, because they say that this is a main event. Like, don't get it twisted. The main event is the last match. There's only one main event. WWE likes to hype up that there's three main events in a pay-per-view or three main event matches in a pay-per-view. There's only one main event. There's only one. They shouldn't spin this as if there's more main events and that the opening match is the main event. Like, what kind of sense does that make? Your opening match is the main event. What what is it? That's like twisting your word. That's like the exact opposite.
Asked creative back in 2012 for WrestleMania 28.
Yeah, well, that didn't even deserve. That didn't even deserve to. That didn't even deserve to be like on. That match didn't even deserve to be opening,
Of course.
or didn't need to open.
Pretty much.
But I mean, and not only that, like this is not AJ Styles' first title defense, but this is his first title defense for a pay per view or a special, or yeah, I guess pay per view in this case for SmackDown, since Raw's pay per view is pretty much a 3 hour Raw except on a Sunday. But um, but this is like his kind of like his first big championship defense. He's got Cena and Ambrose triple threat, and you're having him open the show. Like, I don't care whether you say this is because of the debate. It's still stupid. And for them to say that this is all we're making history by having the WWE World Title open the show. This is not history. This is stupidity.
Pretty much.
It is entirely stupid
Always
that this had to open the show. And I don't care if that the presidential debate was happening on the same day. That it's still no excuse to have the WWE World Title match open the show if it makes sense. And this is not one of those instances where it makes sense.
Well, what's one situation where it did make sense?
Well, I can't think of one, but I wouldn't say if it makes sense. I would say if I would say never open the WWE World Title. Just like if you're not gonna have the WWE World Title main event, at least not have it open. Just have it like be like at least third to last or second to last. Like if you're not gonna main it, if that's not gonna be the main event, have it be either second to last or third to last. At least third to last.
Yes, I wouldn't mind it if it was booked that way, but it is what it is. Even though Bray Wyatt versus Orton ended the show.
Yeah, and like what kind of decision was that? You decide to have Orton and Bray Wyatt end the show, like, and be the main event. That let's just get into the show anyway. So, with this opening match, they had the WWE World Title open the match, and this was pretty much the only match that like not stole the show, but it was the better match of that night. It was the better match of that night. For me, at least, it was the better match of that night. It was the only match that I really like wanted to see what would happen. Well, probably other than the Intercontinental title match, but this was really the match I really wanted to see. So, and I wanted to see if they were actually going to have Cena go 16 times here or whatever. So it was getting good until they do this stupid stuff with Ambrose. I think what was it? Cena he had the STF in, and I think Ambrose had the crossface in too, or Ambrose had some kind of submission move on Styles.
Traded until SummerSlam 2012.
And Styles is tapping out to both of them, and it's like you're doing this. Like, what's the point? And then the referee just says restart, and then they're just restarting. And like we're all confused. Like, what is going on? Like,
for the one top row, it was like, wait, I don't know what happened. Oh, what's gonna happen? Oh, who won? Like,
like we don't know. Like Rob, who was with us, he was like, "Oh, it's probably elimination. He got eliminated." I'm like, "No, there's no way." But then Styles is in the match. I was like, "Oh, this is not elimination. Like, what's going on?" Like, there's like all confusion, and it's getting overbooked. This whole like match was getting overbooked. Now it was like, oh my god.
What's with these double finishes? These double submission finishes? Like, we don't need these.
So then they were getting somewhere. And it was getting good. Cena looked like he was gonna win until the finish. Whereas Styles, I was fine with Styles retaining the WWE title, but he just hits Cena twice with the chair, and then pins him 1, 2, 3.
A worse finish than the finish to Austin Rock 2.
Like, all right, I'm fine with I mean, obviously Styles had to retain here, and the right guy did win, but this is the way you wanted to have him walk out as the champion.
Hey, it's realistic.
But I mean, still, like, he kind of already did enough heel stuff, like with the low blow on Ambrose at Backlash to win the WWE World Title. I don't think the chair shots to Cena for having Cena like get pinned from chair shots is like not really realistic because he's kicked out of worse stuff.
Yes, but WWE's probably like, oh no, that didn't happen. Like anything from 10 years ago, they'll ignore it.
And it's kind of surprising too. Like now, like this is kind of unheard of. Cena's been pinned by the same person now three times this year. Styles has pinned him 3 times this year now. At Money in the Bank, that's dirty, obviously, but clean at SummerSlam and dirty here at No Mercy.
Pretty much.
Like, they must really, I don't know how they decided with Styles to do this to Cena, but
they believe in him.
I guess so. Nikki Bella defeated Carmella. I wasn't paying attention to it. So it was whatever. The tag team title match, Slater and Rhino defeated the Usos. Well, I was happy with that. Wasn't paying that much attention to the match, but from what I saw, it was pretty good.
Okay, cool.
It was a pretty good match. I think Slater and Rhino retaining was the right move. Um, Baron Corbin defeated Jack Swagger. This was just I didn't pay attention at all to this match. There was just like there was no story here. I mean, it was just all these two big guys facing off, and I don't know. There was no story. It didn't feel like an actual rivalry here. It just did not.
Well, what can you do?
And not only that, they already did this. They already did this match on SmackDown like the week before when they thought Corbin tapped out to his ankle lock and the referee rang the bell. It I don't know. It just that whole thing was just ruined.
Is that 50-50 booking I smell?
Pretty much. Yes, typical 50-50 booking. The draft has happened, but it looks like nothing is changing.
Or at least not much has changed.
Yeah. So, I thought Bray Wyatt and Randy Orton wasn't the right choice to main event this No Mercy as we mentioned before. But I thought the Intercontinental title match should have main evented this match between Ziggler and Miz. Even though even though I wasn't that much into it, it did attempt to make it to try and make it interesting and to tell a story.
Yes, but from what we have seen, it didn't really look like Ziggler was fighting for his life.
Yeah, but I mean even at this, even if this did try to tell a story and there was much at stake, like it was title versus career, like at the same time we've already seen Ziggler hold the Intercontinental title, so it's not like him winning was anything like new or fresh or anything special. Like we've seen this before. We've seen him be Intercontinental Champion 5 other times or 4 other times.
Yes, except saving his WWE career.
But at the same time, like a lot of people really wish he would have just left, because like if he just stayed there, like he would have just continued to be irrelevant.
Well, let's see how things go from here this Tuesday.
Well, yeah. Well, on that note, Ziggler finally beats Miz, even though like I almost said Suicide Squad, Spirit Squad. Uh, Spirit Squad tried to interfere. Maurice tried to interfere. And it for what it's worth, it wasn't that bad of a match. I'll give it that. The
Yeah,
storytelling in it was what they did try and bother to tell a story here. So I'll give it that, but it's still kind of the same with
yes,
Ziggler, being Intercontinental Champion. It's like we've seen this before.
pretty much.
It's just a different story being told.
Despite, although we did get the referee allowing, banning the Spirit Squad and Reese from ringside.
Yeah, well, during the match, yeah. Um, so we were supposed to get the SmackDown Women's Championship match between Becky Lynch and Alexa Bliss, but news broke out that Becky got injured, so the match couldn't happen. So instead, we get Alexa Bliss versus Naomi, and the match stunk up the joint. I hate to. I know. Jay would be mad at me for saying this, but nobody was interested in this match at all.
Pretty much.
I know Jay's, favorite diva, woman out there is Naomi, but this
She's
match,
not getting the win right now, or at least isn't getting the title.
and it was just stupid that like you were building up Alexa and you're doing this whole thing and you had her on a roll here, and then Naomi just beats her with a roll up like that. Just stupid.
Probably as bad as Actor.
That was just dumb. that was just a waste. You might as well just not have like Alexa wrestle, or just you should have just had her just like come out and cut a promo on Becky and like talk trash about her, and then that was it.
Yeah, add some more power to the fire to the flame.
I'd rather have that than what we got here.
It is what it is.
And then the main event, and I don't even remember a lot of what happened in this match because I wasn't even paying attention at all. This was just, I think nobody in that, I didn't hear nobody in that crowd go crazy until the ending, where Orton's about to hit an RKO, but then the whole Bray Wyatt entrance happened, like the whole beginning of it.
Luke Harper.
And then Luke Harper shows up. And then Bray Wyatt beats Randy Orton. Yeah, so he beat Randy Orton, but again, how many times is WWE gonna start and stop this guy? Gonna building him up to be at least a bigger star, and then stopping him and backing off him. Like, how many times are we gonna see this where they're starting with him and then they start and stop like over and over? Like,
that sounds like a bad driver right there.
Yeah, that's what they're doing with Bray. Is just starting, stopping, starting, stopping.
Or even going in reverse.
It's just at this point, whether he loses or wins, why does it matter?
So if I were to ask who's more relevant, Bray Wyatt or Ziggler?
Well, I'd say Dolph Ziggler at this point.
Of course.
I mean, Bray Wyatt is the better character, but he's not getting over at all.
Unfortunately, by WWE's booking, although it's mainly Triple H and Stephanie booking the shows.
It's just like, this was just stupid that they had this main event. The crowd was not interested at all throughout that entire match. It was just not the right match for the main event. I don't know what else to say. This show is just so underwhelming. I thought Backlash was definitely 10 times better than this show.
I won't say 10 times better, but yes, Backlash was definitely better.
Yeah, but don't know what else to say. It was just that show. It was just underwhelming and not that great at all. But I definitely watch this over Clash of the Champions. Definitely would.
Same, but let's see how Hell in a Cell goes in a few weeks.
Yeah. So on to SmackDown, since I didn't watch Raw. I mean, I do know about, Goldberg. I guess he's gonna show up tomorrow on Raw.
I already said that he was going to.
I swear you better be right, because I don't know when he's showing up. So I'm gonna tune in. So I'm only gonna watch Raw just for that Goldberg segment. Okay. Since we haven't seen Goldberg in 12 years now, over 12 years now.
Yes.
And Goldberg will definitely always be one of my favorites. So it's something I gotta see. Mm-hmm. So that's the only time you'll ever see me watch Raw nowadays. Is just now the thing between Goldberg and Brock Lesnar. I mean, I'm not a fan of it being at Survivor Series. I think they could wait a little. Maybe wait until the Royal Rumble, since they're going to be in the Alamo Dome on January. Yeah. At least I think. Yeah, it's a bigger arena, and you got a big, huge match that we haven't seen in over 12 years, and a match that hopefully this time could get right. Yep, could be done right. Unlike WrestleMania 20, where both guys were booed, now people don't have an excuse to boo them because they ain't going anywheres.